Welcome to part 2 on the XL Vision EXL 100, and we're going to start this part by moving straight to some initial testing. So here we are at testing. We've got it all set up. I've got the keyboard. Let's find out if this will power on. Ooh, well, first thing, that's not a right screen and we're getting quite a buzz from it. Okay, let's try a reset. And there we are. We have an XL Vision display. Excellent. That's quite pretty. Okay, let's find out if it'll boot from a cartridge and does the keyboard work. Now these cartridges have got a protector, so you've got to pop it out, pop it in, and then power on. Nope, not detecting the cartridge. There we go. Okay, now does the keyboard work? Yes, it does. Wow, that's okay. Let's just, till I know how this system works, let's just do that. What I am noticing with the overlay, hopefully you can see that, things like random, return, go sub, list, okay, print, okay, a lot of the common ones are over here. Right, well, let's try. Oh, is it going to be run? Or is it going to have its, oh, it's just run, okay. Oh, there's run down here as well. So that's running. Break. Is that the white? So we'll try control. Break. Yeah, okay. List is here. List. And there we go. So it's running. Superb. Annoying about the noise, but one of those things. So basic is running. Keyboard is running. That's excellent. Can we do anything else, like check the joysticks? Well, if I pop this out and pop it to the side, we can try, I don't know what these are, but Wizord. I hope these work. Oh, these are so tight. There we go. It does need a clean. Hopefully it will run. I think that was speaking. Let me restart that. Nope. that was speech. Oh wow, speech from a system this old. Built in. Okay. Okay, let's try one of these. I don't know if they work. We're about to find out. Oh. Okay, I can go left up. Ah! Okay, it wants to go right all the time. Ah. Okay. Not the best. It just wants to, yep, it just wants to go right all the time. Okay, I'm going to let that die. I'm going to try the other one, because hopefully that will work a little bit better. Well, it's a shame because, as you saw, I was struggling to work out how to get into these without breaking them. And yeah, this one I've put in there, and it's gone all the way to the bottom. So let me try and get this out. Then we can pop a battery in, hopefully. Oh, well, we're not going to be able to use that one either. Well, that is a problem. Right, both of these are going to need to be opened. And seeing as it looks like you're going to break them by opening them, that's an issue. Okay, that's not great. Oopsie. Well, that's a shame because the one that we do have working is I love the fact it's got speech. Right. Before we do anything else, let's pop this over because I have another one called Guppy. Again, not too bad, but could do with a little clean. Ah, it might actually be the TV not tuning properly. There we go. Because that was definitely running. Okay, this... Come on. So that's up. What? I think, yep. Okay, the controls on this, I don't know if it's actually keyboard. Yeah, that doesn't want to run properly. That was horrible. Okay, the system is working. However, to fix these, it's going to be quite destructive, which is a shame. Dang, there has to be a way to get into them. I mean, there's clip points at the front, so it's going to have to pop at the back and down the sides. Somebody has obviously already done this when you can see it's broken, which is quite a shame. However, I'll do that. I'm sure the last thing you want is me stripping down and building these things back up again and completely destroying them. But yeah, it's working, it's running. And I'm also in the process of doing a little bit of work on both of these, because if I carefully do that, I'm currently in the process of modelling a battery cover for replacement, and hopefully doing the same for these, if I can get them working, of course. So I've managed to get into this off camera. I've stopped the minute it's popped to this point, but it's a destructive process. The plastics are that brittle. They are just, you can hear that, and it's just falling about. I've had pieces drop out. So to get in, it doesn't appear to be clipped at the back. It's clipped at the sides. So you've got to pop that side to get the first one, then the next one, and then down here, but you've got to do 2 and then swap over and then do the next 2 on the opposite side. That will then relieve some of the pressure. You can get the final ones. These, I'm going to guess, are hooked in, so I've got to find some way of just gently moving that, I guess, until that comes out. Although, based on the noises it's been making, yep, that one's already broken. I'm going to guess actually both are broken because I don't see anything poking through here. So yeah, let's just pop all of this out. Yeah, poorly, very poorly, the whole thing. And it just pops apart. So contact pad underneath, as we expect. Some form of rubber pad here. Okay, so it's plastic that just sits over with the contact pad, and as it moves about and puts pressure on, it makes the connection and away you go. Not exactly the most expensive way of doing it, and certainly that came out from underneath. It's interesting. The holes certainly line up with that. At least I think it came out from underneath. Okay. Did seem to drop out from under. Let's get the rest of it apart. And that's the last of it apart. Yeah, I've got a crack here which I'll need to fill with super glue, because that clip point still exists and it'll work, as will these ones. So, I mean, it'll mostly hold together, but yeah, the aging plastics are just starting to give, unfortunately. Let's put these to the side with all the small shards of plastic. Plus I'm just going to pop all these to the side at the moment. And that'll leave us with these. Now, first thing to note, there is a cap under there, a small chip, obviously the connector. I'm going to guess that's the encoder for the infrared. I'm going to very gently open this up, and these are 330 UF 10 volt caps. Let me go see if I've got one, and then let's replace this. So with that recapped, I'm now going to take cotton bud, a Q-tip if you're in America, and I'm going to clean up these contact points. These ones are particularly dirty. And it's taking quite a lot to get these to clean up, so I might bring in the glass fibre brush. Just give them a once over. I've worked out where that piece of plastic came from. It's actually a spacer that sits on there. But I have to very, very gently, minimal pressure, just give these a slight wipe, because I don't want to lift off any of the carbon. I just want to lift off any of the loose residue that's there, so that hopefully it will make contact. I am actually seeing a lot of carbon on this plastic, so it could have been breaking down for a while, and if it has, I have to think about how on earth I repair that, because it's a kind of a piece of rubber. That's going to be fun. Okay, let me just finish cleaning these off. Hopefully you should be able to see how shiny that is now. Look what's coming off. That wasn't off of the other pad. Or the other pads. That's quite gross. Right, that is done. However, I need to do a little bit of repair to the plastics before I can reassemble it. Now this is never going to be perfect, it's pretty far gone, but let's make it usable. So you can see this crack all the way around, which I can actually pull away from the side there. So what I'm going to do is run some super glue down into the back, let it run through, push it shut, and yeah, try and stabilize that bit from there. Now what I would like to do is get a piece of card, just pop some super glue on there, and then I'm using the end of a Q-tip that's been cut at an angle. I'm going to try and open it and just run the super glue in from the back. Push it shut, try not to get my fingers stuck on it, and then just let that set. While we're doing that, we will look to see where these other pieces came off, because there's a few. Now I can see there have been repairs before. This one down here, for example, you can see, no, camera focus. This one down here, you can see the seam where it's been glued before, so that's fine. That's actually one of the front ones, and it looks like it goes on there. So that one will glue back in. And if I just drop it into the super glue, now the fun bit is trying to get it in. Now it's nowhere near perfect, it never will be, and what I'm tempted to do is, once this is set, is try and scrape the back, put in some of the baking powder, and just drop some super glue on the back. That will give the back a lot more strength and stability. In fact, I can now see this one's been glued in as well. This, I'm going to guess, is this one. So let's pop that one back on as well. Now this final piece, I think, is actually a stabilizing bar. By the looks of it, it kind of goes in here somewhere. Either that or it's the, oh, it's the top of one of the clips. Wow, there's 3 clips on this side, okay. So it is actually the top of a clip. That makes life a little bit more awkward. So now that this has been glued, you can actually see that this is one giant clip point right across the back, and that will explain why this section is completely missing. Should go from here across to here. So it's obviously, it's not exactly structurally strong, so yeah, it's been broken when whoever it was tried to remove everything. Well, hopefully now, if we try and put it back together, it would work. But as I say, I wish to put a little bit of strengthening on the back of this, just to make sure that that front clip point's going to work. I don't think it's going to interfere with anything. It should be far enough out of the way. The only ones that could be a problem is trying to put any reinforcing on the back of these. Let's have a check. Yeah, they're quite close. There is a little bit of room for a little bit of support, but not a lot. There's really no room for support on this one. Well, maybe just, and there is actually room for some extra support on the back of that one. So let's do that now. So that's incredibly messy. So what you've got to do is put some super glue on, put the baking powder, baking soda, whatever you want to call it, on top. I've been just pushing it down so it presses in and it just sets almost immediately. You can knock off the excess, and if it's too thin, as it was I thought here and here, just add a little bit more, and that's it. It builds up, it's hard, it can be sanded if you need to, you can cut it with a knife, although it's incredibly tough. There's a little bit here I probably want to take off because it's just sticking a little bit proud. So I'm going to take the knife and just cut it down, and it just kind of pairs off like so. There we are, all done, strengthened. Yeah, maybe I want to take that down a little bit, and it just kind of acts like an activator and bonds to it, makes it much stronger, much firmer, and hopefully that means it will survive a little bit better. Maybe. We'll find out. Okay, before I do anything I'm going to have to tidy up, so let's tidy up and then maybe put this back together. Now, I actually forgot from the first video that I had the tape deck. Actually, I have two. This is a supposedly working core, however you can see the case is not the greatest. It's got bashes and scrapes and obvious signs of having had the cable left across it for quite a while. However, the other one I've got has a non-working core, but a slightly better case. So I'm going to lift this one out, I'm going to service the tape deck, I'm going to pop it into the new case. So let's get that done now. So here we are again at testing, hopefully for the final time. We've got the EXL, we've got the keyboard back, although we won't be testing that, but we do have the joysticks back and we will be testing those. Why is the keyboard back? Well, I hinted at something earlier, and that's some work I've been doing in the background. So I did manage to get my hands on an actual EXL Vision back cover, but just in case I couldn't get one, I had already kind of designed a 3D printed one based on roughly pictures I'd seen and how it looked like it worked. So now we can clip this in and it will lock in. It's absolutely rock solid, doesn't come out. I've put this file up on Cults 3D, I'll put a link in the description as well. So if you do happen to have an EXL Vision, then okay, it's not perfect, but it works. So great, let's pop that out of the way and instead bring in the joysticks. And I've done the same with the joysticks. I've actually created, after multiple attempts, I've created files that allow you to lock in the cover. It's not 100%, it's a little bit loose, could do with being a little bit tighter, but it does require some force to get it to pop out. I'm not sure, because it's 3D printed, that I really want to make it any tighter, just in case. But both of these are now done, and funnily enough, I have two So one for each of the controllers. This one, when going back together, ended up, I think, breaking that tab off. Yeah, the plastic's quite brittle at this age, and this one, both of these cracked, so these have all been repaired. However, the rest of the tabs are holding. That was a pain because, as I said, this is quite a fine point, so yes, it did crack and it did break. It's just so thin, and I don't think these were ever really designed to be taken apart. However, both of them should now be back together and working. So let's get these tested. To test these initially, we're going to use the third one that I didn't try, which is tennis. So pop this in, power on, and there we have tennis. And well, I guess it's not going to matter for testing. We're just going to try and grab a controller. I'm not going to bother clipping it all in, but let's see if it works. I don't know how I move over. One game, right, you just keep pressing. 3 sets. Start, I'm going to guess. Don't know if you heard that. Service 1. I love the speech, it's great. Okay, that's working fine. Okay, I'm going to reset that. I'm going to pop this battery out and we're going to try the other one. But yeah, that's working absolutely fine. Left and right is perfect. So, debutante. 1 game, 3 sets. Start. Fire buttons don't seem to be working. Well, that's something I've done, I think, because certainly all this is working fine. It's so annoying. They are so annoying to get into and work on that, yeah. Okay, 1 out of 2 isn't bad. Just the fire buttons. Okay, we'll get that sorted. Do you want to know something? The fire buttons feel tight. Right, this one's not working, so I need to relook at that, but trust me, you don't need to see that again on this video. Okay, what does that leave? That leaves a tape deck. This is going to be fun. Now these are going to run in BASIC, so I'm going to need to pop in the BASIC cartridge. And of course I did lie, I'm going to need the keyboard back. And according to the tape it says load, open quotes, 1 and then run. Okay, now I can hear. It is playing. But I'm sure we're meant to see something on screen. And it did say plus run. And without the membrane I can't see where run is, so bear with me a second. So run is here, is that? Escape. I don't know what's happening. That's certainly done nothing. It's about there. Okay. So I know it's playing. I don't know if this is a good lead. I don't know if the tape is working right. It doesn't sound warbly or anything, so it should be. And good question. And I don't think there's anything on these at all. So I don't know how these work. And you get to see me flailing about like a loony trying to work out what's going on. Lovely. Right. Can we get any response? Oh, I got it to change on the screen. It now says lect. I'm assuming it says LECT because I actually can't see the monitor for that. And of course it's blurry because it really doesn't like this system, which is lovely. Okay, I do apologise, the colour blue for the background is causing huge issues for the camera. So let me just reset. Try and get the camera to reset, and it goes straight away out of focus. It really doesn't like this at all, does it? Okay, I do apologise. It's not going to work with this setup. I am in the process of waiting for my final planning to come through, and then hopefully I get a new recording area, a proper workshop where I can hopefully stop working off of a dining room table and relying on a second camera suspended from an arm pointing at a TV screen. So I do apologise, but I can't get that into focus, which means that this last part is, well, fairly useless. I will persevere. I will get this sorted and confirm that it works. So apologies for the very final part being the tape deck being as disappointing, but it works, it plays, it does what it's supposed to. I just don't know A, if the cable works, and B, if the input to the EXL vision works, or even how to get this to load properly. Okay, right. Yeah, I'm going to give up here. I'm going to give up here. Right, well, thank you for watching. Sorry it's taken so long to get this second part out. Many things going on that I'm not currently wanting to discuss, but thank you for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next Retro Crazy or Retro Crazy Mini Bite.